It's our Euro 2020 preview part 2. Jimmy Conrad brings the heat, betting tips, analysis, and so much more. You want to stay tuned to this one because you're going to get a lot of help from a betting perspective. Qué Golazo Euro 2020 part 2 preview begins right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Qué Golazo, our Euro 2020 part 2. And we had to finish on a high. Jimmy Conrad in the hizzy. Jimmy, what's up, man?
What's up, LME? How is everybody doing out there? Excited to dig in to the Euros from a betting perspective.
From a betting perspective, and this is why Jimmy is here. Well, no, that's not the only reason. He's here.
I thought it was my good looks and charisma, but okay, if you want to go this route, it's fine.
It's your good looks and charisma too, man. You're our Qué Golazo Brad Pitt, 90s Brad Pitt, which is an even bigger compliment as well. But welcome, everybody. Qué Golazo Euro 2020 part 2 preview. As Jimmy said, this is our betting preview, but we're going to give you so much more. I want Jimmy to tell me his favorites as well. Maybe think about some individual players that maybe can, create some fireworks in this tournament. And by the way, before we begin, if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. If you're listening on Spotify, Stitcher, thank you so much. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave a 5-star rating and review. A nice little comment for Jimmy, myself, and the entire gang. That would be nice, huh, Jimmy? Don't you think?
100%. No pressure, everybody.
No pressure. And also, by the way, Apple Podcasts is the place where if you have a question and a comment, we would answer them for you on the show. We love to hear from you and discuss. So, that's the way to go. So Apple Podcasts, if you haven't done it already. All right, let's begin. Jimmy C. Jimmy, who are you wearing today? What's that jersey?
I'm wearing Denmark. I have Danish blood. My dad was born there, and my grandparents are from there. My mom was not. She's a bit more of a mutt, we'd like to say. There's some Irish in there somewhere in the family. I don't know. I haven't done any of those Ancestry.com type things. But, definitely for sure, 100%. I am 50% Danish. So there you go.
Man, you have a lot of Danish blood then. Your dad there, your father's side. I love it. Well, James Bench yesterday, Jimmy, was talking about Denmark, one of the dark horses. So we're going to get into that as well, just because they're all so tall. I know that you're 6 feet and above. So everybody's so tall in Denmark. I have my own feelings about Denmark, what they did to Peru at the World Cup, but it's fine. It's fine. Dark horses. Listen, I have family in England. I actually was born there. England is a big part of my life. So, we'll talk about them and Phil Foden's hair as well. But Jimmy, let's begin with your
where do you want to bet? I
want to generalize it first. I want you to just give me your overall thoughts about the Euro 2020. How do you feel about it? Just as the tournament begins this Friday.
Well, obviously the pandemic threw everything, up in the air, and it's great that it's still going, but they qualified for this tournament over a year ago. So when I was looking back, honestly, sometimes everybody doing research really throws you off. You got to just trust your gut. Like, you know what? France is going to do it. But then you read about France, you see who they have in their team, and obviously super deep. Like, well, that back line, not great this season. Lloris in goal, a little shaky, and so then you start to talk yourself out of some things. So I'm just going to lay out all the lines for you. You guys can maybe pick and choose what you like, and I'll try to provide some insight on where I'm leaning given current form. But so that's all I wanted to say with regard to that. Over outright winners on William Hill. France are the favorites, plus 450. England are the second favorites. I had to smile on that. I just don't.
You don't have the feeling? You don't feel it?
It's not coming home. Gareth Southgate for me is not the manager that's going to bring it home. I think he's a tremendous guy, and I love that he's doing and leading the charge with the kneeling stuff and all that. But I just don't tactically.
You don't feel him.
He doesn't inspire me too much tactically. Okay. Yeah. So for them to be the second favorites, I was like, holy crap. But then Belgium plus 600, they are known for being a team that almost does it. They're a nearly team. So that seems a bit, I don't know. I guess we could we can make an argument for all these. Then you got Spain plus 800. Do they have the squad to do it? I mean, yes, on paper, you could say they could, but who's going to go up and score the goals for them regularly? I don't know. Germany plus 800.
Jimmy, the disrespect on Portugal right now. I haven't even heard their name yet.
I know. Germany plus 800.
What? They're still before them?
Portugal plus 800.
Okay.
Italy plus 800. So Here's the thing that I've started to develop after like now being in the William Hill universe and wagering universe for quite some time. If you like any of the plus 800 teams to do it, Spain, Germany, Portugal, or Italy, you could put $100 and you'd lose 300, but if one of those four hit, you're up $500. You know what I mean? Like there's some math there I think you can do. You can get all beautiful mind on everything and figure out how it all works.
John Nash it out, right?
You could John Nash it out for sure. I mean, you could even throw Belgium and England in there and you'd break even because you'd have 6 teams. So if England won, which they're not, but if you wanted to throw Belgium in there, just the shade I'm throwing at the English fans. Belgium 600. You could have Belgium, Spain, Germany, Portugal, and Italy. You could all put $100 on all of them and you'd win. If one of those 5 teams won, you'd still be a winner. So I'm starting to look at that a little bit more. And the one, if the least favorite wins, then you get paid more. It's pretty ridiculous. So with regard to where I'm feeling, it's so hard to go against France. I mean, they any team that has N'Golo Kante and killing Mbappe on it and Benzema, I know he got hurt. I guess it's just a dead leg against Bulgaria in their last warm-up game. But God, they're so good and so deep in so many different ways. It's just that back line a little bit that makes me a bit nervous. Kimpembe hasn't necessarily torn it up by any stretch of the imagination. They're in a very tough group, of course, in Group F, as everybody knows, because you guys have already heard part 1.
The group we got all of these people.
I know. They got Varane, who obviously not coming off a great season. Lucas Hernandez, he can be a little bit spotty in terms of concentration defensively. Obviously good, very good going forward. Benjamin Pavard, for me, didn't light it up for Bayern Munich. I mean, he's good. He's solid, of course. You got Kurt Zuma, in and out of Chelsea's lineup. Langley, not great for Barcelona. Koundé dropped off. You got Lloris in goal, who made a lot of mistakes for Spurs this season and didn't play like we expected him to play, and Jose Mourinho expected him to play. So I think they got a back line that you can get at a little bit, but you got N'Golo Kante sitting in front of them. And then their front 5 are ridiculous. I mean, those guys, you got Pogba, Mbappe, Benzema, Griezmann. You're like, all right, come on, stop. This is you're punishing us, So they're going to get through, but whether they go on to win it, I mean, they have the experience of winning the World Cup, so they can lean on that a little bit. And I think that will give them the edge. They're in a group with Germany, who do tend to underperform. Portugal, when Portugal won it, I'm sure you guys talked about this already, but when Portugal won it in 2016, they got third in their group behind Hungary and Iceland. Like, what?
No, we didn't bring that up. That's good.
No, so Portugal got third in their group. And they had 3 draws, and they were just lucky that they were one of the 4 third-place teams to go on to the next round, and then they took off and started to get those big results. But very similar to France, Portugal are littered with so much talent all over the field. I mean, when I name out the names, you're like, all right, stop. That's not fair. CR7, Bruno Fernandes, Joao Cancelo, Bernardo Silva, Joao Felix, Ruben Diaz. I got to throw Pepe in there out of respect. The team is stacked. But it's been 5 years since this core group won something. Fernando Santos, the manager, is still in charge after helping them win their first significant piece of hardware as a nation. And Germany's the same. Which version of them are we going to see? And I think the big challenge for all the big teams is, who is your best starting lineup? Who's your best 11? You now have teams that are 18, 20, 23 man deep. Who's your best connection? It might not always be your most talented. I mean, Bruno Fernandes didn't start against Spain in their most recent friendly. And I was like, what is going on here? How do you not start Bruno Fernandes? Now, I don't know if they were resting him or whatever, but that's the type of options that they have off the bench. So the challenge, I think, for all these big managers, because obviously for the smaller nations, they're rolling out their best guys no matter what. Like they're playing. Like Lewandowski, obviously he's going to start. Goran Pandev, he is going to start for North Macedonia, and so those are very clear lineup choices. But when you get to the big squads, I think trying to find and identify that 11 is not easy. And I think that'll be the big challenge. And then how do you adapt as the tournament goes along? And then I don't know if you guys dove into this as well, but the schedule for me plays into it. So
that's the thing that I was going to say. The schedule is the key thing here, because not only do you have to worry about the opposition that you have in your group, but also how you maneuver your squad throughout the schedule, assessing the strength of it, whatever, and taking in mind, by the way, that, the top 2, fine. But then, if you end up third, who is your next opponent? And, it's very tricky. And it's to your point about Gareth Southgate, I guess, about how he maneuvers the squad throughout it all. So it's very interesting.
I mean, he's another one too that has to figure out what his best 11 is and how many right backs he can get on the field.
Yeah, I'm sure he can get a lot of them.
Okay, so let me continue the trend of some betting for you guys. Highest scoring team of the whole tournament. Who do you like there?
Well, I mean, if I'm looking at everything, I think France has to be up there, right? You mentioned Antoine Griezmann, Benzema, Kylian Mbappe. But then again, I look at England as well. Honestly, they could have some goals with them, with Harry Kane, because I'm looking at their group and there's goals to be had. Croatia is not the same team they were when they made the finals in Russia. I mean, Scotland could give them troubles. And then Belgium, of course, with Romelu Lukaku. I don't know. I would say to you, Jimmy, that I think France is up there as one of the favorites for high-scoring teams.
Okay, so when you take this into consideration, you have to know, obviously, who they're playing against. And they have to have a deep run, right? They're not going to – I mean, the odds are that you have to be at least in the semifinals to be the highest-scoring team in the tournament.
Right, which is realistic, right?
So Belgium's the favorite, plus 500.
Yeah, okay.
With we got Lukaku, De Bruyne, hopefully he plays. You know, I think we're going to see a better version of Eden Hazard playing for his country as opposed to for Madrid.
Maybe.
I don't know. Italy plus 700 is second. France is third at plus 750. And Germany is plus 800. So high scoring team of the whole tournament. Yeah. I think that's a great value there. And again, when you guys ought to think about I think I found a glitch in the matrix. Maybe just put a couple bets, because if one of them hits, you'll end up still making money. So
probability chances. That's right. That's right. Well, let me give you one, Jimmy. Let me ask you. Give me the odds on this one. How about, because listen, everybody, this part 2 is just me and Jimmy talking, and we'll go back and forth in different areas. But I guess we're entering the dark horse zone. But I am high on Turkey a lot, and I'm wondering.
You're going to say grass really quick. I'm like, hey, I know you don't like turf. I know you don't like turf, but I know grass.
So high on grass, man. No, I'm so high. I love Turkey. I think they're kind of this team that everybody should be watching out for. Of course, we know what Yilmaz did with Leo and stuff, but they've got more than that. What are the chances of them being one of the highest scoring teams as well?
Yeah, I got to find that one. When you go on William Hill, they have crazy odds for who's the highest Borussia Dortmund player to score. I was like, Jadon Sancho, plus 163. Yeah. It's wild, all the options. So give me a second to find that one. I will say, though, with regard to Turkey overall, they only allowed 3 goals in 10 qualifying matches.
That's impressive.
They had a win and a draw against France in their qualifying group, even though they finished second. I feel like they can hang with the best, as you mentioned with Yilmaz. He was making dreams come true for Lille as they won Liga. I think there's something about them that I really like. Their
group, I mean, Italy, obviously, but then Wales, doable. Switzerland, doable. It's not bad.
No, I just got to scroll up. There are so many different lines you can bet on William Hill. It's pretty ridiculous. But what I'll say with regard to Turkey, I like Italy to win the group and Turkey to get second. And if you have that exactly, there's a lot of exact bets you can get on William Hill. That's plus 300. Now, if you think it'll just be those two and they can finish in either order, like a exacta box for all you horse racing fans out there, it's plus 175 for that to happen. So if you want to play a little bit safe. But Italy have been next level, Luis. 8 straight games that they've won. First time ever as a national team, and giving up 0 goals over that.
Yeah, defensively they are.
Which
is kind of giving you those old school Italy vibes, right? Yeah.
Hot. And I just think they have a nice balance of young and old, and for some of these older players, and there's a couple of nations we can look at here. This could be their last chance. I know they got the World Cup, but the last time in the Euros to really make a splash. Or I look at Wales, like Gareth Bale. If you have Gareth Bale being the highest scoring player on his team, it's plus 125. I like that value a lot because this is it for Gareth Bale. Wales aren't going to qualify for the World Cup. This is his last dance at the international stage in a meaningful way. Yeah. And Wales did really well in 2016. They had a nice run and they beat Belgium.
There's going to be a team here, Jimmy, that's going to surprise us. So we just have to think about
I agree with you. I don't know. Okay, highest scoring team. Let me look. Highest scoring team. So I don't know. I had England. England was plus 500 as well. I don't know why I didn't have them written down. Really? Oh, this has changed, by the way. I looked at it last night. It has changed this morning. So it
might change even closer to the thing. So if you're listening,
England, Spain, and Belgium are all plus 500.
Okay.
Netherlands plus 600, Italy plus 700, France plus 750, Germany 800, Portugal plus 1400. You can get that's some decent value, and they might blow up, but probably not. They're in such a tough group, man. I think those games are going to be tight.
Yeah.
You said Turkey highest scoring team plus 6,600. I want you to put some money on that.
Why? Put $10 on it.
Why not? You win $660.
Who cares?
Exactly.
All right. Well, okay. Well, let's move on.
How about this? Well, no. Lowest scoring team. Who do you think?
Okay, well, let me look. Let me see. Hold up. Lowest scoring team.
I mean, you got Hungary. Hungary's they're plus 450 to be the lowest scoring team, and they've got France and Germany and Portugal in their group.
North Macedonia, but they could score goals against
North Macedonia plus 550.
Yeah.
To be the lowest scoring team. Finland plus 700. Slovakia plus 800. Those are the only.
I mean, I guess it would be Hungary, right? You got to face France, Germany, and Portugal. No big deal.
I think it's worth throwing a flyer there. Like, honestly, you could put $10 on all those $3 on each, and you still win. You still win money.
But here's the thing about Hungary too, though. They're playing their games in front of fans, I think. Is that right? I think that's what JJ said. One of these teams,
yes or no, it's not going to make any difference for Hungary. I will say Hungary played Portugal first, and in the last group game in 2016, that Portugal needed to get a result to potentially go through or not go through.
Yeah.
Hungary was up 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, and it ended up 3-3. But they won their group, Hungary. It's not like you can't just sleep on Hungary. Yeah. I think they're going to be tough.
All right, so give me some final choices then. If I were to ask you first, your favorite team to be the highest scoring team in this group, in this competition.
Highest scoring team?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'll probably I would lean towards France, to be honest. I think that they're going to have a deep run because they have Mbappe, and if Benzema's healthy, they have some options. Griezmann's look good. I would put probably 10 on them. That's plus 750. And I would probably put 10 on Germany. I think that they're a bit of a sleeping giant. They're not favored to even win their group. And they have the team to do it. Their back line worries me a little bit. And I say that's probably a good thing. And France's as well, because if they're giving up goals, that means they're going to have to score to keep going in this tournament. So you got to look at that in a little bit of a different way too. So I'm saying I like the value of Italy, France, and Germany, plus 700 for Italy, plus 750 for France, plus 800 for Germany. I'll probably put $10 on each of those. And
I like it. And then France, obviously, you mentioned being the favorite, England being second to win it all as well. I mean, we're going to get to that at the very end.
I'll put $10 on the plus 800 crew. Spain plus 800, Germany plus 800, Portugal plus 800, Italy plus 800.
So anytime you see those plus 800 on those kind of teams, just put $10 on it.
$10, and if any of those four hit, obviously I'm going to be. I've committed 400, but I'll win back. If any of them hit, I'll win back $100 that I bet on the winner and the extra 400. So
probability, baby.
That's it.
All right.
I got two more overalls for you though.
Well, guess what? We're gonna take a break.
Oh, we should take a break, everybody. It's time.
We're going to take a break.
Yeah.
And then when we come back, Jimmy's going to give us some more. And I'm going to ask him more about the knockout stages. And then eventually as well, a few individual players and his final. What is his final? We will see. All right. I know. See, he's already sweating. And he's Danish, so he sweats even more. All right. Here we go. Qué Golazo. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Qué Golazo Euro 2020 preview part 2. Jimmy Conrad in the house with your betting tips needs. Jimmy, let's talk knockout stages now. Let's talk round of 16. Okay. Obviously, you're probably going to give us some good lines on some favorites, but there might be some dark horse material here. What do you got?
All right, let's just start in Group A. Let's go in alphabetical
let's go
order.
by group. Yep.
As I said, Turkey, very good defensively, very good in qualifying. I think they could probably sneak through. I like them. I think they look good against the Dutch recently as well. Italy, fantastic in Group A, 37 goals for against in qualifying, absolutely cruising. As I mentioned, they've won 8 straight, haven't given up any goals. They're the favorites to go through and possible long shots to win it all. Wales is in this group as well. I think they're going to live and die with Gareth Bale. This is his last time through. Gareth Bale was in pretty good form with Spurs at the end of the season. I think they're going to be difficult, but I don't think they're going to get through. Switzerland, they lost to Poland in penalties in the round of 16 in 2016 last Euros. They don't score a lot of goals, but they don't give up a lot of goals either. Also, I just have to say this. I'm not the biggest Granit Xhaka fan, but he's your captain and he wears your number 10. I just don't know if I can get behind a team like that. Granit Xhaka's wearing your number 10 shirt. With all due respect to the Swiss, they might be one of those teams that finishes in third and goes through. And I think that a team from Group A will, but I like Switzerland to do it. So as I said before, I think Italy win the group, Turkey gets second. That's exactly plus 300 if you want to bet that. But if you just think it's either one of those two, it's plus 175. Now going to Group B, Denmark, baby, let's go. Danish Dynamite. Now they were good in qualifying. They scored 23 goals in those games, goal differential of plus 17. But they drew 4. They won 4 and drew 4. They didn't lose any. And they got a good squad. It's so Danish. So it's almost like they know how not to lose, but they can also come up short in games that they should win.
Yeah.
They have Peter Schmeichel, Kasper Schmeichel in goal, Daniel Voss outside back, very good. Simon Scher, Vestergaard, Eriksson, Højbjerg, Delaney,
Resurgence
Poulsen,
of Christian
Braithwaite.
Eriksson too.
Let's put some respect on Braithwaite's name, okay? Yeah, sure, he's the number 9 to Barcelona, you know.
Qué Golazo friend. Qué Golazo friend.
That's it.
It's his goal, actually, that made it to the Euro 2020.
There you go. Thank you. See, so you're even backing up the Danish love. I think that Denmark are going to go through. Finland, listen, I love them. This is the first time they've ever qualified for the Euros. I love me some Timo Pukki up top, and I think he'll be a threat, but that's about it. Thanks for coming, boys. Russia, I think they're going to give you the best value in terms of being good enough to advance out of the group. I'm just not sure they will. In their 10 qualifying matches, they won 8 and scored 33 goals, but their 2 losses were against Belgium, who just happened to be in their group. What? That's so weird. And they play them first, so that'll be interesting to see. That schedule, like who plays who first? Who gets that confidence, gets those first 3 points? I think it's going to make a big difference. But so I don't know. Russia could be that another third place team that goes through. Belgium, I'm sure, as you guys talked about, now or never time, undefeated in qualifying. They scored 40 goals in 10 qualifying matches. That's ridiculous.
CBS Sports colleague Roberto Martinez.
Yes, but they have a history of falling short.
Kieran Reed's back with the squad as well.
It's crazy. De Bruyne is probably out for the first game, so we'll see if Hazard can pick up the slack. I think he will reemerge and hopefully show some world-class ability at some point, and maybe Carlo Ancelotti can get the best out of him once Madrid gets going again. I like the favorite lines: Belgium first, Denmark second, exactly plus 200. Russia to not qualify from the group is plus 175. I don't know. That's one to look at because I thought that was really good value. And then this is my fun one in this group, everybody. Finland exact group points. If you think they're going to get one and pull a draw for somebody, that's plus 200. If you think it's 0, they're not going to win any games, get any draws, plus 225. I kind of want to bet $10 on each. I mean, I won't win anything because I'll probably break even, but I kind of want to see if I get it right.
I like it. All right, let's move on. Group C.
The fun one. All right, Group C, Netherlands. If you got Frank de Boer in charge, you don't have any chance. I'm just saying that. I'm not a Frank de Boer fan. 4 wins, 4 draws, and 2 losses in his 10 games. His twin brother came out and criticized him for using a 5-3-2 that Johan Cruyff would be rolling around in his grave, seeing how Holland's playing right now. Van de Beek's out. Van Dijk is out. I'm not getting good vibes from this team despite their obvious talent. Ukraine, surprisingly ranked 24th in the world, 3rd appearance overall in the Euros, never advanced past the group stages. They're coming off 4 straight 1-1 draws. So they're an interesting team. I think there's lots of value here. And they play North Macedonia first. I think that actually bodes well for them. Austria, surprisingly ranked 23rd in the world. Their 3rd appearance ever in the Euros. Never advanced past the group stages either. Sounds very similar to Ukraine. They don't come in on good form. They lost to Denmark 4-0 in World Cup qualifying. Then England 1-0 in a friendly. And 0-0 with Slovakia. I'm not a big Slovakia fan. And they play the Dutch first. So Austria has some work to do. North Macedonia, first time in the Euros, but they just beat Germany 2-1 in World Cup qualifying. So
amazing.
That has to give them a little bit of a boost. Goran Pandev is their number 10 and the captain.
37-year-old legend.
37, dude. Cool. It's actually really cool to see him in this competition before he retires. I like Ukraine first, Holland second. I like that value a lot, plus 600. So that's wild. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I feel like, to your point earlier, there's going to be some surprises here. I'm just trying to give one that maybe, because we can see that the Dutch like to underperform. Austria not to qualify, plus 200. Interesting.
That's interesting.
So if you go Holland and Ukraine, LME to qualify in any orders, plus 110. Okay. And my fun one is Netherlands to finish second, plus 350. This
is a very, very tough group, and we'll have to see what happens, especially because you don't know what kind of Netherlands you're going to get, and Ukraine by Shevchenko as well. All right, Group D.
Group D. England, obviously pretty cool to see them doing their thing and continuing to hope that they bring it home. It's cool to see them actually face Scotland, which is a rivalry that dates back to 1872. They've played 114 times in all competitions.
Euro 96 vibes too.
Dude, crazy. They have to face Croatia as well, obviously, in this group, who beat them in the 2018 World Cup semifinals. So there's some revenge there. And the Czech Republic, who have some ballers on their team. So this isn't going to be a walk in the park for England by any stretch of the imagination. They are the favorites to win the group. Croatia have a lot to play for, but they've declined in form since their run to the final in Russia. They barely hanging on, everybody, in the Nations League, which included France, Portugal, and Sweden, only notching 1 win, and it was against Sweden. And they're going to have success without Ivan Rakitic, who just retired 4 or 5 months ago, and Mandzukic, who retired after the World Cup in 2018. But they still have some ballers, and they all have the itch. You know what I'm saying? They got Modric, Kovacic, Perisic, Rebic, Vlasic, and I'm sure they want Christian Pulisic as well, but they can't have him. This Croatia team, for me, isn't as intimidating as it once was. but they obviously have some talent. Now, Scotland, 23 years since their last showing in an international competition, had to beat Serbia in penalties to make it happen. Back in 1998, they crashed out in the group stages without winning a game. Their last appearance in the Euros in 96, they finished third in the group, but didn't make it to the knockout rounds. It's cool to see the Tartan Army back in the big stage, and they've actually played pretty well. I thought they looked very good against the Dutch, where Memphis Depay had to score a sick free kick to just earn a draw on that one, 2-2. I think the Scots are a sleeper team.
Hey, that's what I said in part one. They're my dark horse. Scott McTominay, Super John McGinn, Che Adams can get goals. Scotland.
They got some players.
I'm telling you, they're going to be intriguing. I'm telling you. All right, what do you have for the group then?
So Czech Republic would be the last team. You know, they got Kufel, Vaslik, Souček, Patrick Schick. I mean, they got some players. I think England finishing on 7 points. That I just don't know the order of this group, but I think England will finish on top. Or actually, I think it'll be England, Croatia, Scotland, and then Czech Republic. So I kind of went with exact score lines. English finishing on exactly 7 points. I think they're going to draw with Croatia. That pays plus 220. If you think Croatia, I see Croatia getting a win and drawing for 5 points. That's plus 900.
Okay.
And then Scotland's getting 2 points. I think they're going to have 2 draws. Plus 700, and then Czech Republic only getting 1 point. That's plus 280. So it's interesting. That was the only group. I'm like, let's have some fun here and see exact score lines. But yeah, there's obviously some crazy value here because I think Scotland could do some damage, and I just don't know which version of Czech or Croatia is going to show up. So that's what I got on that.
Group All right, love it. Let's go Group E.
Obviously, Spain heavy favorites in this one, despite Sergio Ramos and any other Real Madrid player being left at home by, a former Barcelona manager and player, Luis Enrique. That's its own issues there. I think Laporte making the switch from France to Spain is really important for them. I think it gives their backline a much-needed injection of being a little bit younger, with all due respect to Sergio Ramos, and he's a great passer of the ball, and I think it sets up really well for that team. So they're the heavy favorites. Sweden, they know Zlatan, the 7th ever appearance in the Euros. They didn't have Zlatan in qualifying, so I don't really feel like that's big of a drop-off.
Yeah, I don't think it's that much of a big deal.
He is going to be the cherry on top, but they lost once in qualifying, but it was to Spain 3-0, and guess who just happens to be in this group? Spain. Right. Now they have Lindelof, Alexander Isak from La Real, Emil Forsberg from RB Leipzig. Is that enough talent for them to get through? They're going to be difficult. They always have a nice spirit about them as a fellow Scandinavian team, and they had a nice run in the 2018 World Cup. We'll see. And then Poland's, when Robert Lewandowski's on a mission to win the Ballon d'Or, everybody, and he's not going to do it. If him and his country don't have a good run in this tournament, I think that's what voters could use against him. Oh, well, look, he didn't do it in the Euros, which feels so unfair for Robert Lewandowski. And then they're going to give it, with all due respect, if France win and then N'Golo Kanté leads them to glory. Well, look, he won the Champions League and he won it with, then it's definitely going to go to N'Golo Kanté. And once again, we're all going to feel bad for Robert Lewandowski because the guy is an absolute beast. So we'll see if his Polish teammates can give him the service that he needs to have success, because he's definitely not surrounded by talent like he is at Bayern Munich, or the same type of talent. Then you have Slovakia. Haven't looked great recently. They lost at home to Czech Republic and Israel to get relegated from the Nations League B. They're the ultimate underdog. They got nothing to lose, but it doesn't look good. I like Spain, Poland to finish in the top 2 in either order at plus 125. But I'm not scared to pick the exact finish of Spain in first, Poland in second at plus 200. I think that's good value. Sweden to finish in third, plus 150. I like a lot. Slovakia to get 0 points, plus 300. I'm considering that. All right,
that's very good. And
it's good, right?
Any Slovak listeners were really sorry about that. By the way, I see Spain topping this group. I just don't see them doing that well in the knockout stage. That's a different kettle of fish, I think.
No, I think you're right. I think that they just still have some answers. I mean, if Alvaro Morata gets hot, we say that about any team. Hey, if their number 9 up top gets hot, anything can happen. They got a hot goalkeeper, anything can happen. It's
right. The problem is with Spain is that they're experienced, but they're also in transition in a weird way. No Real Madrid players ever for the first time in a tournament for them as well. I mean, I make that of what you will, but still, it says a lot, though. All right, final group
F. Okay. So. As I mentioned before, Hungary won their group in 2016 and then got unfortunate to draw Belgium in the round of 16 where they lost 4-0. That just feels unfair. But now it's going to feel unfair again because they got drawn into the group of death. I wouldn't sleep on these guys. As I mentioned, they drew with Poland, or they drew with Portugal way back when with this same core players for the most part with Portugal. So they have some tournament experience. They drew 3-3 with Poland recently in March. They beat Turkey twice in the Nations League at the end of last year. And we're talking hype about Turkey. So I wouldn't necessarily think Hungary going to roll over for anybody. They got Dominic Szoboszlai, Willy Orban, Peter Gulacsi, all these guys play for RB Leipzig. They've got some players that know how to play and how to survive and suffer and still have success at the highest levels. Let's go to Portugal, though. Reigning champs, CR7, Bruno Fernandes, Joao Cancelo, Bernardo Silva, Joao Felix, Ruben Diaz, Pepe. I mentioned all these guys already. It's pretty ridiculous. Again, these next three teams that I talk about, what is their best starting lineup? Who are they going to ride and die with when things get tough? Who's the coach's favorites? We always see a coach's favorite out there that, like, what is he doing out there? But the coach just loves him anyway. Will that hurt a team or will it help them? That's yet to be determined. France, my favorite story about France going into this is Benzema. Gets called back in for the first time in 6 years, okay? Comes back in, first game, misses a penalty. Then in his second game, he gets hurt, okay? And Olivier Giroud comes in, scores 2 goals in 7 minutes. So his replacement came in and scored 2 goals in 7. I can't get enough of this story between Benzema and Giroud, but these guys are ridiculous, and they're so deep and so loaded. But I think that back four, to your point a little bit about Spain, they should get through this tough group. But then if they have that one bad game or they get punished for a mistake, and they could, right? I mean, at this type of level, the line between success and failure is so thin. And if you make a mistake or consistently make, and people know, hey, they're going to make a mistake this game, and the other team can kind of feel and taste it, they're going to put that type of pressure on you to, okay, go for it. Play out of pressure. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, especially as you go further into the tournament as well.
This France back line for me is the only thing that gives me. They're going to make some mistakes. It's just a matter of whether Mbappe and Benzema and Griezmann and Pogba and all those guys, Tolisso, can figure out a way to score goals because they are going to do it. It's just a matter of whether it's going to cost them or not. All
right, so give me the group then.
And then Germany, obviously, unbelievable. So listen, everybody, this is such a coin flip. So I don't know whether to stay away from this group or to dive in because there's some good value. I'm going to give you exact score lines of where they're going to finish. France first, Germany second, plus 300. That's the favorite score line. Germany first, France second, plus 333. France first, Portugal second, plus 450.
That's
Germany.
The one I like.
You like that one? Germany first, Portugal second, plus 500. Portugal first, France second, plus 700. Portugal first, Germany second, plus 750.
You know what? I just think that the overall theme right now is that, and this is including all of us, I think that we're really disrespecting Portugal a little bit. I mean, they're ridiculous. They got the best player of the Premier League of this season at the back, an experienced player in Pepe as well, Joao Cancelo right next to him, Bernardo Silva. Joao Felix isn't even making the starting 11. That's how good they are. And hello, I haven't even talked about Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know. I think it's a pretty cool bet, Jimmy, if you just gamble a little bit and you go with Portugal first, France second, Germany third. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to see who'd you have third?
Germany.
Germany to finish third is plus 275.
I mean, there's a reason why Lowy's going, right? Like Germany's, I'm not telling you this is what's going to happen. I'm saying I literally just heard the odds for that. The line for that was it 700?
Yes.
Yeah, that's really good, right?
It's really good. It is. It's good.
I mean, everybody's going to go with the obvious, which is France stopping, right? So, which is probably what will happen. But if you put $10 on that Portugal topping that group, you never know. Yeah,
Portugal to finish first, just straight up in the group is plus 300.
I mean, that's pretty good.
It's good.
All right. So
here's my meme. Let's just stay in this group a little bit because my meme pick of this just for the laughs is Timo Werner being the Golden Boot winner plus 2,800. Well, I'm here for it. I'm putting $10 on Timo Werner to be the Golden Boot winner. It would pay me $280 off of $10. So
yeah, I'll give you the $280.
That'd be unbelievable. But let's talk just really quick about Golden Boot and player with the most assists in the tournament. Lukaku's the favorite for Golden Boot, plus 600. Kane is tied with him plus 600. Mbappe, I actually like this value a lot, plus 900 to be the Golden Boot. CR7 plus 1,400 to be Golden Boot. I don't think he's going to do it. I didn't like how he looked against Spain recently. I don't know if he's carrying injury or just now age might be catching up to him a little bit. I just didn't think he flowed very well. And I don't know. It's one of those things where everything's been built around him for so many years. Portugal doesn't really need to use him as much. He's not the savior anymore. They have so many different options. And I think he's just as not influential because they're a little bit more balanced than they were before. Benzema plus 1,600 to be the gold. I mean, I'm looking at both French players because if one of those guys catches fire, they're going to run away with it, and that's good value. Depay, Memphis Depay plus 1,800. Lewandowski plus 2,000 to be the Golden Boot winner, but Poland probably won't have that deep of a run. Griezmann plus 2,200. Chiro, the hero of Mobley, plus 2,200. And my pick, Timo Werner for the laughs, plus 2,800. So I don't know who you like to get the Golden Boot. I mean, obviously Lukaku and Kane make a lot of sense, but Mbappe at plus 900 is pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good. I just sometimes when you have the Golden Boot conversation, sometimes it's somebody that you did not think of it. So I'm thinking like Federico Chiesa maybe, because he gets some goals as well, or even the aforementioned Yilmaz as well. He likes to score. I just, Burak Yilmaz, he scores almost always with Turkey, and Turkey know nothing but attack. They just love to just get in your face. They're like a big pie that just gets thrown at you the moment you walk into like a circus. So sometimes I feel that it's the one that we don't think about. So I would say Yilmaz, Chiesa.
It's going to take me a while.
No, of course. I just surprised you with that one, but I just think that. But obviously, if you're going for a little bit more of a considerable conventional, the ones that you mentioned. I mean, I think Benzema has given you great value, and regardless, right? Like that's pretty good.
I just feel like, once France gets out of the group, it's tough. They're in a tough group. I don't know if we're going to see 4-3 shootouts or 1-0 games.
It's all about the path. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to say. Then with the most assists, I thought there was actually better value here.
Okay.
You can get De Bruyne plus 1,000 to be the player with the most assists. Mbappe plus 1,400. Leroy Sané plus 1,600. Hazard 1,600. Kimmich 1,600. Bruno Fernandes, most assists in the tournament, plus 1,800. Phil Foden, plus 2,000. Kane, Mount, both 2,000. Pogba,
Kane's
2,000.
a good one, I think, yeah.
Thomas Muller, most assists, plus 2,000.
Oh, that's
I don't know, dude. I think you could bet 5 of these names and make money.
Yeah,
you could have it. You could have him, but you probably want to look at an Italian player as well. But De Bruyne, Mbappe, Kimmich,
De Bruyne, Mbappe, Kane, Muller. You can go all of them.
You could pick 6 names and still make money here. That's what's. I mean, you actually could go 10 because KDB is the lowest value at plus.
This is where the money goes.
That's where it is. It's in the assists, everybody. So go take a look at the assists because you could make 5 or 6 bets there and you would make money. Bet 10, bet 100, whatever you're feeling. But there's money to be made there. So that's the one. The probability. It's the probability bets that I really like the most is the assist. That's why I saved it for last. That
is like when you enter the cave and you open the bucket of gold. This is it. This is it. That's a great Jimmy Conrad. You absolutely destroyed it today. Before you go, right? Just your gut instinct. What's this final?
Man, it's tough. I want to say that we might see. I'm going to say France, Belgium.
Okay.
Obviously, we don't know how things are going to play out in the group stages, so they could play each other earlier. That's why it's hard to say who's going to be in the final. But I think Belgium will make a run here. I think that Lukaku's something fierce. I think Belgium knows this is their last gasp as a team, especially that back line that's getting a little bit aging.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be up for it. You got Courtois in goal. He was solid with Real Madrid this season. I think they got that. I think there will be an upset. I could see France just having one of those games where their defense makes one mistake and then they can't figure out a way to score and they end up going out. It's going to be one of those. We'll see a couple of those results happen to some teams. I'm just going to throw my hat in the ring for Belgium. And then I think France will do enough. Did I say France, Belgium? Yeah.
You did. You did say France.
So say France, Belgium. So I think we'll see Germany maybe have, one of those other big clubs, big nations have those games. But I think France, I just love N'Golo Kante a lot. I think when he's in your team, you always have a chance, and he can help protect that back four. And then Mbappe, he's only going to continue to get better and better and better. So Benzema, I really like the balance with Benzema in there. So I think that'll be the final. But it could easily change. I think, can I change after the group stages to see how everybody's playing?
Yeah, we can always talk. This is just your gut instinct pick.
But if I do hit it, I'm going to reference this thing. I told you right from the beginning, France, Belgium.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we do it. We do it as insurance as well. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it. That's our Euro 2020 Part 2 preview. Jimmy Conrad in the house. Jimmy, thank you so much, man. And Jimmy, Jonathan Johnson, James Bench will be part of the team for next week, obviously from Friday, but really next week, because we're not going to have any more Sunday night weekend recaps, everybody. We basically do a Monday to Friday. So Monday we'll give you a real loaded episode, okay? So stay tuned for that. But Jimmy Conrad, always a pleasure, my friend.
Always a pleasure, LME. Everybody that doesn't know, it's LME's birthday coming up. So make sure you guys drop him a happy birthday on social media. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody listening. And I can't wait to get this tournament started.
Thank you, brother. Love you, man. All right. Speak to you later, everybody. Hey, everybody. I want to thank Jimmy Conrad for joining me today. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Qué Golazo Pod. We are also on Apple Podcasts. Please leave a 5-star rating and review and a question or a comment. It really helps us to grow the show. We're also on Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, of course, if you are watching, and CBSSports.com and your CBS Sports app. Have a great, great rest of your week and enjoy Euro 2020. We have plenty more to come as well from Qué Golazo. See you next time.